Good evening, Fernwood. It is your sleep-deprived sleuth Neil here, and it's time for us to stabilize our slumber patterns with another episode of Mary Hartman. We are watching episode 217 from February 1st, 1977. It is the final episode on the fourth case inside of the DVD set. We are almost two-thirds of the way there. I think we need to talk about yesterday. At Fernwood Hospital, Charlie was sitting quietly with the mummy-wrapped woman that he thought was Loretta. A doctor comes in and tells Charlie that underneath the wrappings, the body is not functioning and that is only being kept alive by the life support machines. Charlie gets furious at the thought that someone could pull the plug on Loretta. Martha comes in with a nun doll for Loretta, which is suitably creepy. And then the woman under the bandages bolts up and then falls back down, and the doctor declares her dead, and Charlie is left in stunned silence. At the Fernwood jail, Patty ticks off the days on the calendar and gets a new roommate, who seems like somewhat of a hellraiser. Patty is her sweet and naive self, and surprises the new inmate that she has been accused of murder. Patty's roommate then pulls out a nail file that she has hidden, and she's planning to escape, while Patty picks up her new friend's cigarette and wonders if there's marijuana in it. Things are hopping at Lou's place as all of Mac's friends have shown up for Mac and Lulu's wedding. Mac apologizes to Lou and hopes that there are no hard feelings, and Lou is fairly depressed. And then Lulu comes out singing a whole number, hopefully done in time for the pastor to do the service before he has to go back to rehab. And Mac looks uncomfortable. Someone else who is uncomfortable is Tom, who got home and did not sleep in bed with Mary last night. Mary slept down on the couch. Mary informs Tom that their marriage is over since she saw him in the arms of another woman at Lou's place just the night before. Tom explains that this woman was not another woman, but Lulu, or Loretta. Mary takes this story as a form of gaslighting, that Tom is trying to make Mary crazy again. And Tom insists that he is telling the truth and that they can go to the diner together. And Mary is not sure what to make of it. And then finally, at the hospital, Charlie is going through several of the stages of grief in about 30 seconds. Denial, bargaining, and finally acceptance. And then Tom walks in and says that the woman underneath the bandages was not Loretta after all, and that he knows where Loretta is, and Charlie has to take a moment to figure out that Loretta is still alive. However, Tom shares the bad news that Loretta is going to marry another man. And everyone, that was yesterday's episode. I believe we can start this Tuesday episode right now.
Do you, Max Slattery, take this woman, Lulu,
Lulu, tell him your last name, honey.
Just make it Lulu, Reverend. Huh.
Lulu. Do you, Max Slattery, take this woman, Lulu, for rich or poor, in sickness or in health? And that's including terminal illness as well as the passing variety. Also serious injury, like when a vet comes back with no legs and his wife runs off and leaves him. That happened with my son. I want you to know that, so you're going into this thing with your eyes wide open.
And Rev, don't forget love, honor, and obey.
She won't, I do.
All right, so if there be any reason why this couple should not be joined in...
Excuse me.
Just a second.
Oh, sure.
Not be joined in holy matrimony.
Excuse me. I hate to interrupt.
Where did she get drug in from?
Let them speak now or forever hold their peace.
I feel that I should speak now. Now, normally I would not do anything like this. Normally I would, hold my peace. Particularly because I know, what goes into all the arrangements, for an affair like this or anything. But you can't go on with this wedding.
Why don't you go call the nut house up?
Well, you better have a good reason, lady.
Well, do you serve Pepsi Light?
Hurry up!
Oh, the lady's already married. So, do you serve it or not, Pepsi Light?
Listen, Toots, what the hell are you trying to do?
Go on with the ceremony, Rev.
Yeah, come on.
Loretta!
Hands off me, Pocahontas.
Look, can't you please tell her to listen to me? Listen, would you forget the Pepsi Light? I'll have a chocolate milk, okay?
You'll have a chocolate milk, huh? You
Yeah.
gonna have a chocolate milk? How'd you like a 2-second nose job?
A fight!
Oh, shut up.
Let me tell you something, honey. Listen here. Why don't you just get out of here?
Oh, could you please just not pull the next time quite so hard on that right braid? That hurts.
Just take it easy,
really
Lulu.
hurts.
Fuck off, Mac.
Oh, thank you very much. That was very nice. He's a good man.
I've held my peace long enough. Now I've got something to say, too. I love you, Lulu.
Boys, you get him out of here. I'm gonna drop him like a dirty shirt.
That's all right. I'll handle this, Jake. All right, Lou. All right. Well, let's go over here and get a drink.
Oh, excuse me. Is this a ballroom brawl?
Yeah!
Take me home with you. I'll make you hot toddy.
I'll tell you something. There's one thing I can't stand, and that's a murderous love. Oh, gosh.
No, Loretta, let me explain something. See, the thing is, what happened with Charlie is this. They got very worried because they thought you were an accident victim because they found your purse. Then he got worried sick when he thought you were a dummy.
Are you calling me a dummy?
No, Mummy! I meant Mummy! A mummy!
You women are nothing but trouble and skirts.
Oh, gosh! Now be careful. It's loaded. Oh, listen, wait first. Her name isn't Lulu. She is Loretta. She's Loretta Haggers. She's just a superstar from Fernwood, that's all. Look out! Look out!
Lulu.
Speak to me. You don't have to speak to me. Just give me one of your smiles. Lulu.
Henry. Hi. Wait a minute, where am I? Where's Charlie?
Gee, I don't know. I hope he didn't make any plans for tonight.
Born free, just as free as the grass grows. Born, wow, look who's coming to dinner. Ow.
Hiya, Cookie.
Aye.
Now, it isn't important, is it, that the judge didn't believe me? I mean, it's only a preliminary hearing.
It depends on what you mean by only.
Well, there could be another more lenient judge, and as soon as you tell the whole tragic, hauntingly bizarre story to the jury...
You don't tell him nothing, do you, mister?
What do you mean, I don't get a jury?
Of course you're going to get a jury.
Well, you are one lying, lousy lawyer, Mr. Dearborn, sir. Yes, indeed. You know what you're going to get, honey. You're going to get fried. You're going to get a jury of your peers.
That's fair. I thought peers meant...
Peers means peers to be guilty, peers to be uppity, peers to deserve the third degree. Those peers that can afford to leave their homes and jobs to sit down and peer at you and your evidence. Those are good, clean, honest, decent citizens who never killed anybody in their life.
You know, Cookie's basically right, Mrs. Gimbel. You're not likely to do a lot better with the jury than with the judge.
So, then what you're both saying is,
That you're gonna
I'm
fry.
confused.
That's it. Those blue curl little old ladies are gonna bury you. I mean, they are gonna plug you in and light you brighter than the tree you killed your old man with.
I didn't kill him.
Ah,
Mr. Dearborn. Mr. Dearborn.
It's not all that bleak, Mrs. Gimbel. Really, it's not. What we'll probably end up doing is copping a plea, allowing you a plea of guilty to a lesser crime. You know, like murder 3 instead of murder 1.
What's murder 3?
passion.
3rd-degree murder.
Means you did it because you love him.
Loved him.
And the maximum on murder 3 is life.
Life? Life?
Well, it's better than death.
And it might be the best we can do.
Well, it might just be.
Life?
Now, you keep your fingers crossed. I got an appointment. Guard!
Goodbye, Mr. Dearborn.
Don't run off. We're going to do everything we can to cheat that chair.
Didn't I tell you those lawyers never tell you anything? I mean, those lawyers are so mealy-mouthed, they are not fit to lick my shoe. And I'm not staying around for a shine, I can tell you that.
What am I going to do about my son? I can't raise a son from a jail cell. It's bad enough that they think I'm a murderess. They'll probably judge me an unfit mother.
Yeah, what do they know about being a mother? Listen, killer. If you're obedient and good, I'm gonna let you in on my plans for a break.
Oh, no. I couldn't do that because I have to get a chance to clear my name.
Listen, once your name is in the papers, the only way to clear it is to change it.
Well, thanks very much, Cookie, but jailbreak is not my style.
Well, then change your style, sugar. Look, we'll get you a wig. Put you on a diet. Teach you how to walk.
You make going underground sound like charm school.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna have a whole new identity, you might as well have some class.
Whole new identity? That's silly.
Hey! Will you look at that get up there? Well, ain't that something else? What did you invent that yourself, or was that one of May Olinsky's creations?
Yeah, it does delicious me up, doesn't it?
That's what it does.
I have been asked to dedicate the new miniature golf range, right next to the driving range. You know which one I mean?
No.
Oh, well, do you know the Fenarskis? She teaches, he sells. Right. Well, it's not important.
Yeah, I guess I must have. Might as well figured that out myself.
Oh, Merle. Oh, boy. Did you think I was running out on you, leaving you all alone?
I really don't think I deserve this kind of treatment.
Oh,
Wanda.
Merle, come on, honey. I was only teasing. Look, there is this beautiful roast in the oven. It's all done. And there's a freezer bag full of veggies and the Fernwood Girls Vocational Skills Program sent by a Devil's Food Ring.
Wanda, let me ask you something.
Wait till you see it, Merle. It's just perfect. Oh, and there is something else.
What gives you the right? What gives you the right to deny me what every husband deserves?
Look, Merle. Look, they made it into a portrait of the program director. Isn't that hysterical? Oh, God, that's cute. They probably thought we'd be shocked.
You know, I'd really hate for you to know how I used to be treated with my late wife, Lurleen, when I came on like
Merle,
nights like this.
here is a letter from May Olinsky.
Every time, she'd always have them little fire in the fireplace over there. And of course, just a couple of them cement logs, but it was real warm and nice. It made a cute little flame.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. Listen to this, Merle. Dear Wanda, have gone to spread the word all over the country. Equal opportunity in the bedroom is a must. Hope you and Merle are doing well. Love, May.
Yeah.
Isn't that a sweet note?
Yeah.
Gosh, it's so clear and simple.
Right. It is clear. Clear as an empty glass. And she ought to know what our marriage is like, where it's at now. She's the one that put it there.
Clear as an empty glass. I like that.
I can remember when you used to like me more than miniature golf.
That's true. I craved your touch.
You did.
Yeah.
And now you do almost anything to avoid my touch. You realize that?
Merle, don't be silly.
No, wait a minute. I'm not being silly, Wanda. You're literal driving me out into the streets.
You mean to kiss babies?
No, don't do that. I'm not talking about babies. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Merle, I just cannot believe that a man of your intelligence would jeopardize his entire career just because he's feeling...
Urgent. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I'm feeling urgent. It's a feeling of urgency. Do you understand that, Wanda? Urgency and the feeling that I have? And that you better satisfy it or else I'm going to find somebody else to do it. Do you understand any of that?
Well, aren't there any safe outlets?
What are you talking about? Something like I had with Annie there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an
You mean like a real safe, kind of friendly relationship?
Exactly.
No. There's nothing like that.
Who were you thinking of just then?
Everybody. Everybody we know in this town, you know.
Well, who?
Oh, gosh. Well, Elsie down there at the hardware, you know, down there by Federated.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
Well, from her, then, you know, right on up to Mary Hartman.
Merle, surely you jest. Oh, Merle. No, you are really the only man that I have ever met who would think of having an affair with a married woman in order to avoid a scandal. God. You know, Merle, sometimes I think you almost want one.
What, a married woman?
No, a scandal.
No, that isn't true. There's not going to be any more scandals, and I can promise you that. But I'm telling you, something's got to give here if it means that I got to go all the way to Akron.
Well, Merle, before you go, there's somebody I'd like you to meet. Lila, come on in for a minute. Lila, I would like you to meet Merle. Merle, Lila. Lila is going to be helping us out around the house.
Hi. It sure is great to meet the mayor.
Well, how are you there?
Boy, you got a lot of energy in your hand.
Hey, kids, I got to rush now. Merle, I hope that we can continue this conversation a little bit later, okay?
Well, now, wait a minute, Wanda. What am I supposed to be doing here? I mean, are we paying this child by the week or what? How's it?
Oh, no. Well, see, we really hadn't decided how often we need tidying. What?
Oh, I'm sorry I laughed.
Uh-huh.
It's just that cake reminded me of my principal.
Oh, isn't that sweet? It's sweet, isn't that sweet? No, it's a devil's food cake. Oh, gosh. Wait, never mind that. You're not leaving me here alone here on purpose. You're not.
Merle, how could you think that?
Yeah.
Look, I would never go unless I had to. Look, your dinner is in the kitchen, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
See you later, honey.
Okay.
Bye.
Have fun, man.
Oh,
okay?
I intend to. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Mr. Mayor, do you have an attachment for this thing that goes instead of one that goes
I'll tell you. Why don't you and me maybe just step back in there in that broom closet? Maybe we'll just take a look-see.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. That's what we'll do then.
I can't help but wonder if Charlie's Loretta was turned into Lulu by a bump on the head or something like that, and Lulu was turned back into Loretta by a bump on the head. I wonder.
Don't wonder.
I've had plenty of bumps. Thank you.
And she said enough identities. It's just amazing to me. Instead of one that goes
I wonder.
I'll tell you. Why don't you and me maybe just step back in there in that broom closet? Maybe we'll just take a look-see.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. That's what we'll do then.
I can't help but wonder if Charlie's Loretta was turned into Lulu by a bump on the head, or something like that, and Lulu was turned back into Loretta by a bump on the head. I wonder.
Don't wonder.
I've had plenty of bumps. Thank you.
And she's had enough identities. It's just amazing to me how that could just turn you into a whole other side of yourself.
Well, Mary, I prefer to think that it, really wasn't a side of myself. I'm just going to prefer to look at it like I was just off on a little vacation or visit or something, into the Twilight Zone.
Well, as long as nobody saw it. I heard it was very unpleasant. I mean, even Tom, the night he spent in your bed.
What?
Oh, no, I don't think anything happened, because I have a feeling he was too filled with, beverage.
Well, I guess nothing did happen. My gosh, Mary, the Lord wouldn't have let me done nothing like that, especially with Tom. What do you mean, too full of beverage? Oh, Mary, has he started drinking again? Oh, how awful. It just must be real hard on you and Heather.
Well, no, it's not like that. He just goes, one day at a time. He takes it one day at a time, and he just, that was one day he skipped. That's the way he explained it to me anyway. But, all of that isn't nearly as bad as what you had to go through. Changing whole personalities like that.
Speaking of personalities, this Lulu must have had a wild one, huh?
Yeah.
Mary, I sure hope that I won this in a card game or something instead of earning it. If you know what I mean.
Well, this is time I went and got Gertrude and hit the old highway.
Gertrude? You mean you had another woman waiting in the wings the whole time?
Waiting in the wings. That's real good, Mary. Where's the pencil? Do you have a pencil?
No. Does anyone have a pencil?
I'll
Remember
remember
it.
it.
Waiting in the
Wings.
wings. Let me ask you think it'll hit the charts?
Gertrude's his truck.
Oh, it's his truck?
Looks like it's my life, too.
Bless his heart. It just, it almost makes you wish that... Dear Lord, please help this man secure himself a fine woman in the very near future. Thank you very much. Amen.
It says just married all over it.
Lord, make that happen this week. Thank you.
You got heart, Mrs. Haggis. You got a real heart. I can tell. That dress you're wearing, that was a gift from me to Miss Lulu. I was in love with Miss Lulu, not you. And I want to tell you and thank you and be very grateful, because I never thought I would have another chance at love. No woman could wear the dress the way she did. But I'd like to have you keep it.
Oh.
You've got a lot of heart. More than Miss Lulu ever had.
Oh, if that is the most, God bless you, sweetest and heartfelt and brave acceptance of inevitable fate, I just don't know what is.
Loretta. a casserole.
Oh, right, Mary. Well, I guess, I have to be going and everything, but now let me tell you something. And I'm serious about this, too. If you ever need Loretta Haggers for a big, heartfelt country gig full of innocent faith and inspiration and everything, you be sure and you contact my husband manager, Charlie Haggers. So that's spelled Haggers, exactly the same way as mine's spelled, okay?
Yeah, and I'm Hartman, Hartman. And I really hope things get better for you. I mean, I hope that you cheer up and everything, because I'm sure you will.
Well, I guess it's goodbye and everything. And listen, I just want you to know that I really appreciate your taking such good care of my other identity. Can I kiss you? Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, as I mentioned before, things are ending and starting again. Here's another clip from some of the events I saw last week at the time of shooting. And hey, we are right back at the wedding of Mac and Lulu, who doesn't even have a last name, and they've only known each other what looks to be a few weeks at this point, maybe. I'm confused about the dates because it's only February 1st now, but Patty was looking at late February on her calendar of 1927, which does match with 1977 as I looked it up. It's only been a few weeks of Mac and Lulu knowing each other, and they're ready to get married. Lou was also ready to get married to Lulu. I was expecting Tom and Charlie to show up as well, but they were not there. And I'm curious to see their point of view of this situation, because clearly Charlie was shocked to find out that Loretta was going to marry another woman. It wasn't Loretta, it was Lulu. But you know what Charlie would feel. However, Mary comes to the wedding and interrupts it, which should happen in a soap opera. There is a bar fight, and that then leads to Lulu getting conked on the head with a chair. Of course it has to be head injury that does this, because that's the way we see things on television. More brain damage is how you reverse amnesia. A few people are disappointed, but Loretta is happy to be back. And then we are back at the jail as Patty's unnamed roommate does something weird with stockings. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a tool for grinding out of jail or something, and Pat and Nat come in, and it becomes about the trial that is coming, which is bad news for Patty, because a judge or a jury are both going to go bad for Pat. Pat's new roommate, again unnamed, is interested in getting Pat sprung out of jail, but Pat will stay in because she needs to make sure that Philip is well taken care of. And we don't really know what's been going on with Philip. He's been in the background probably making out with Heather. So Pat is going to stay in as far as we can tell. And then we see, weeks and weeks ago, we were talking about when Merle, I don't even remember how long ago this was, but Merle proposing to Wanda and how unequal it was going to be for Wanda. And now that is just turned on its ear, because Wanda seems to have a lot of the power. Maybe it could be more equally shared, but I wouldn't expect it for a character like Merle. He just doesn't deserve good things. He's unhappy and feels urgent. Wanda is happy to go off and do her political events, and good for her. Wanda even suggests that Merle find a safe outlet for his urges, because he's feeling urgent. And Merle comes out that he did think of Mary Hartman. And I'm pretty sure that's the only woman that Merle was thinking of. He named another one, but I think that was a cover. And Wanda laughs, mostly because Mary is married. I don't think she objects to Mary as a person, but the fact that Merle would go after a married woman in this case, well, that could go badly. And then Merle gets to meet Lila, Wanda introduces the new cleaning girl, and I was maybe confused because Lila seems to be fairly womanly, but the writing suggests that she's a high school girl. Merle describes her as a child, and she says that the cake, which we never see, reminds her of her principal. So she's in high school, I presume. I don't know how young they were intending, but she's old enough to work, and I was only confused. The performance was fine in terms of naivety, but just the look definitely did not tell me high school girl. And in the 1970s, you know, that hairdo seemed a lot older than what high school girls, I think, were wearing at that time. I feel like straight long hair would have been the look in the 1970s. But maybe I'm wrong. It does lead to Merle and Lila being left alone. Lila unintentionally makes some suggestive gestures with her face, and Merle says, let's go to the broom closet, and that's where they end up. And then we are at Lou's place for what looks like a goodbye to Lulu. Lulu doesn't exist anymore. I mean, other than somewhere in the brain of Loretta. Max suggests hitting Loretta on the head to make Lulu come back, which is gross. Loretta won't have any of that. I think this is goodbye for Lou's place, perhaps. Lou is thankful for Lulu's existence, and he knows that Loretta and Lulu aren't the same. And for Mac, it is time to go, and for Lou, it is time to say goodbye. And I think that's kind of a sweet ending for this really odd storyline. I'm very curious to see Loretta and Charlie have an actual reunion. I'm very curious to see what happens with Tom and Mary, since Mary was ready to end the marriage yesterday. She's found herself to be mistaken, so that should be a talk. It might not be. Sometimes people don't talk about things on this show. So, everyone, that was the Tuesday episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Thank you so much for watching with me. Thank you for leaving your thoughts and feelings down in the comments. Thank you so much for being you. And we will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.